Everyone, I'm Sean.
This is who?
We are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another movie review.
Yes.
This time we watched Late Night with the Devil.
Yes.
So this is a pretty new horror film. I think it was made last year, but it's just recently came out, and it was in like a limited run theatrical release, and then straight to Shudder.
Yeah, this is the movie that had the opening day of $666,666.
Yes. Yeah, you may have seen the headline for that.
Yeah.
I think that was more well known than the movie itself
Yeah.
at the time, because even Variety, I think Deadline or something, had that article.
Yeah.
So this is directed by Colin Cairnes and Cameron Cairnes,
Yes.
and stars our boy David Dastmalchian.
Yes.
In an actual leading role.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, we've seen him in a lot of stuff, but usually it's like a cameo.
Yeah, or he's there for like a little
secondary role. He recently was in, I think last year he was in Boogeyman, but he was barely in that.
Yeah.
He was in Last Voyage of Demeter. He had a pretty substantial role there.
Yeah. I think he was that was like a leading, or not really leading role, but he was like definitely supporting actor.
Yeah, probably like the number maybe 3 guy,
Yeah.
4 guy, something like that. And he's in a lot of stuff. He's done Marvel, he's done DC,
Yeah.
he's done a variety of things. He's done Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah.
The highlight of his career.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, we're pretty big fans of him. Always good time whenever he's in the movie.
And it seems like reading some of his bio before we started this, he just seemed like he's very into the horror genre.
Yes,
that's for
he's
sure.
very into horror, and he's another Pennsylvanian.
Yes.
So that's always cool.
Yeah.
So he's the lead here. He plays a kind of rival talk show host to Johnny Carson back in the 1970s. And his show's kind of got some problems with the ratings. It's kind of going down the drain.
It's always like him against Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson always comes out on top because it's Johnny Carson.
Right. So there's some stuff going on there, and he's always trying to look for something that'll get him back on top.
Yeah.
He recently had the tragedy of his wife passing away, and his life's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But on October 31st, 1977, the Halloween night, he decides to have a special where there's going to be like a live exorcism.
Yeah, they have like a paranormal guy. It's like a skeptic who used to be like a magician that turned into a skeptic, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you have like some guy that's like a medium or something. I don't know what they call themselves, but they kind of like commune with the dead type of thing.
Yeah.
And they could talk to people like, oh, Jim died in a plane crash.
Right.
He's here to say hi to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like one of those guys. And then you have the piece de resistance, I guess you could say.
Yes.
The exorcism.
Yes.
First people.
Or whatever it was. It wasn't really an exorcism, but it was...
Yeah, it was like a possession person.
Yeah. So there's a girl that's possessed. She was taken from a cult that she was basically raised to be a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And she is possessed by the demonic spirit of Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
Abraxas.
Abraxas. Yes.
And then the parapsychologist that's with her.
Yeah.
Who's been studying her and caretaker or whatever. So, as you could probably guess, things don't go so well.
Yeah, because the way they film this is like basically we're watching an episode of like in the beginning before the thing starts, it's like a little bit of a backstory about Jack, which is the main character, and then it goes in like the actual episode of the actual programming. So the hour or whatever, it's like an hour 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's sort of found footage kind of thing. It's set up like it's a documentary.
Yeah.
At the very beginning. Then they kind of drop that angle. It's for better or worse. I don't know how I feel about that. But they kind of started it at the very beginning. They set it up as a documentary about this night.
Yeah.
And then they never really revisit that. And then the rest of the movie is just the actual broadcast, pretty much.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to show you the master tape of this last broadcast. And then that's it. And it just stops.
And then at one part at the very end is a little weird, too. We had this problem with a movie we recently watched as well, which was whatever that other movie was we watched last week that was around before Blair Witch Project that was a found footage.
Oh, It's about, like, the Jersey Devil guy.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a found footage film supposedly about the Jersey Devil, but it doesn't have
it wasn't, because it was like... It was one of the things that was like it was the movie right before the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
It was around that same time.
Yeah, so we watched 2 found footage films last week just for fun.
The last broadcast.
Last broadcast, yeah. So this had the same problem. If you've ever seen the last broadcast, maybe someday we'll do a review on that as well.
Yeah.
But that ends weirdly just like a regular film.
Yeah.
It goes into like third person, like a typical film.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of it was a mockumentary type thing.
Yeah.
This also almost does that, where we're somehow seeing into the mind of Jack.
Yeah.
Which kind of breaks the illusion of an episode of television.
Yeah, because you you have the master tape, but it just kind of it goes right at the very end. It's like a really weird transition.
Yeah, it's like a weird transition where now all of a sudden we're like in Jack's head.
Yeah,
and like how would that be viewed by audiences? Like that makes no sense.
The only thing I can think of is, I guess we'll go into it. I don't know if we're going into major spoilers.
Yeah, we don't need to go into any details, but that was one thing that I thought was a little off. I guess another. That's not really a complaint, but this was also quite similar to the other found footage film we watched.
Yeah,
which was Ghost Watch.
Yeah, which Ghost Watch is good if anyone's
that's very good. I don't know if I could recommend the other one.
Yeah, the other one is definitely I would say dated.
Yeah.
It feels dated, but Ghost Watch is good.
Ghost Watch was pretty good. That was a BBC episode, a special that was designed to look like a live, also on Halloween, a live investigation of like a paranormal incident in like London or something.
And I think that one actually got banned in Britain or something because
everything got banned in Britain.
Yeah, because I think someone actually thought it was real because it was actually
probably got thrown on the video nasties list.
Yeah, and I guess he like committed suicide or something.
Yeah, somebody did do that. But yeah, that movie's pretty good, and it reminds me a lot of this.
Yeah,
where it's like a live broadcast, and if you didn't catch the beginning of it, you think it was a live broadcast.
Yeah.
This, it's obviously not because it's set in the 1970s.
Yeah.
But, and it has a good job of doing that. It's actually the second film we've seen this year that does the 70s filter.
Yeah.
Because First Omen also does that.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And then the other similarity, I think, I would see this as sort of a cross between Ghost Watch and the scene in One Missed Call, the Japanese one, where they try to do the live exorcism on television, and it goes horribly wrong, and person gets twisted into a pretzel.
Yeah. That's
similar to what happens here as well. So you can kind of guess what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
They plant seeds throughout. There's a whole bunch of stuff about Jack's kind of shady past that's potentially alluding to some sort of Satanist type thing.
Yeah, because they talk about something called the Grove, which this is actually kind of a real thing. Because they always say something like the place in California or something where like very influential people go and they do. It's like a secret society type of thing.
Yeah, and they talk about Jack being involved.
Yeah, he did that. That's kind of like one of the catalysts in this movie.
That's actually how he met his wife and like all the other stuff. And that's when he became famous and like all that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you sold your soul to become famous kind of thing.
And or like a monkey paw thing where you keep your famous, something else has to happen type of thing.
Right.
Some badass to happen, I guess.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the devil taking his payback or something. So, yeah, it's quite good. Like, I would recommend it. The only other minor nitpick, some of the effects are kind of...
Yeah, you could tell, like, there's a scene where some guy, like, throws up.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, it's not the best.
He throws up at the camera. Yeah. And it's really bad CG.
Which, I don't want to be like, oh, that's the worst effects, because this movie was only $2 million. So less than $2 million. So it was like, okay.
It's cheap. It made over $10 million in the box office, and then plus whatever streaming stuff for Shudder.
Yeah, because Shudder, I could see this movie doing a lot better if they would have had it in more theaters, to be honest. Cause
yeah, but they probably wanted to get on Shudder as quickly as possible. I think the Nicolas Cage Alien movie or whatever that's come out that's in Ireland, that I think is also a Shudder film.
Yeah.
So it should be coming soon.
Was that going to be in theaters too? Or
no? Oh, yeah, it came out like a week ago.
Oh,
or 2 weeks ago.
So it's probably hard to find anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's in any of our theaters. Probably that same rundown theater that we saw.
Yeah. Sting or whatever.
Sting in.
Yeah, probably.
Could have seen it with the Big Dipper constellation across the screen. So,
because they're aliens, they come from the Big Dipper.
Yeah. Check out our review for
Sting.
Sting. Can't even remember the name of the movie to see what we're talking about there. So, I think that's about all I have to say about Late Night with the Devil. Is there anything you wanted to add?
I think we got pretty much everything. Like I say, it is a pretty decent movie, especially if you like. It's very unique. I think it's kind of a more unique movie, actually. I don't think.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you ever see really a movie that's like set in like a 1970s like late night talk show host type of thing.
It's not as the entire film.
Yeah, I mean the whole entire film, but
yeah, it's pretty good. We've been in like a big found footage.
Yeah, that's lately, what pretty much. It's a lot of stuff we watch for found footage, but you actually get starting to see a lot of the patterns. It's like. They kind of follow some follow like a specific pattern,
right? And I think the cool thing about found footage is like more than just showing the horror and stuff. It's all the different innovative things you can do.
Yeah, it is
sometimes
surprising.
It's just guys holding the camera, and sometimes it's like a television show or what have you.
Or like if you're on like looking at a TV monitor or like a computer monitor, it like switches camera angles, so you can do that. And still found footage because it's like, okay, what's
that's
going
sort of
on?
A Five Nights at Freddy's type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's stuff like that.
But yeah, so I think we both recommend Late Night with the Devil. So you can, I'm not sure if you can catch it in theaters anywhere anymore, but it's on Shudder.
Definitely on Shudder, yeah.
So I'd check it out over there and hit the like button if you like this video. Consider subscribing for more like this in the future, and you too could feel a strong welling within. See ya.